Hello and welcome to this episode of the Aarsleff podcast, Voices in Engineering. Today I'm joined by Dr. Dan Adams, our Senior Geotechnical Consultant, as we discuss the future of Aarsleff within the UK, the pandemic's impact on construction and the idea of social togetherness. Enjoy. Dan, welcome to the first episode of the Aarsleff podcast. Before we get going, Dan, do you mind giving us a bit of a background in your career and your achievements academically and professionally? Because I have to say, you are one of the cleverest men I've ever met.
Oh, well, that's a very nice thing to say so. I don't know if I can live up to that. Okay. Dan Adams, the edited bio. Went to university in Bradford in, 89. Did a 4-year degree with a sandwich placement with Tarmac, and that was a fairly important year, my year out sandwich, when I realised that if I didn't want to end up setting out for the rest of my life, I would have to pick my finger up and put a little bit more work in my final year, because I realised I didn't want to be a setting out year engineer all my life. So went back to university after my placement, learnt an awful lot, worked hard, got a 2-1 in civil and structural engineering, specialising in geotechnics. And then back then it was a bit of a recession, and I was looking for a job during the summer, and approached my supervisor and said, "Have you got any work for the summer?" And he said, "Oh, I'll see if I can find something." And he came back to me 2 weeks later and said, "Do you want to do a PhD?" So I had the opportunity, and I grasped it with 2 hands. I ended up working closely with Keller's, and it was a natural progression. In 97, I joined Aarsleff Ground Engineering, and that was my start on my career, getting paid to become a geotechnical engineer. All around the country. First job was a jet grouting job, Caistor-on-Sea, in 1997. And then I moved into London, working out of London, various jobs in London, including the Jubilee line. Worked for Keller's for, till 2001. I'd got my PhD by then, and I'd done lots of site experience, 5+ years of site experience, but I wanted more. I wanted more design experience. And there was an opportunity there with Mott MacDonald at Sheffield. So I moved to Mott's to develop and build on the technical side of my skills, the geotechnical theory, design principles, and everything like that. That was a really good time. Built up a small geotechnical team there of sort of 5. And then, in fact, got poached back by Keller's after about 5 years, and spent the next 5 years again working with Keller, but developing the deep dry soil mixing and successfully delivering it. We our first major project with the UK-based rig, which took us about 2 years to develop. Up to that point, we'd been bringing rigs in from Sweden from LCM, and first job called Thranderson Bog with BAM, as it was, BAM, yes, BAM Nuttall. Embankment stabilisation for a failing railway embankment. The original embankment had been built up off basically bundles of branches and twigs, so it was a floating embankment. We, in fact, then stabilised it, improved it, and that was a great project. We actually won my first ground engineering award for Anderson Bog, so that's a good one.
Beats my 5-metre swimming badge.
I think I might have got one of those on the way. And from then, I suppose opportunities arose, and did some great work, again with Keller all around the world, working in Scandinavia. I met some really interesting people over the years. Moved then on to Bashi Solotonch as estimating manager there for the Specialist Geotechnics Division. And then, to my salvation, Aarsleff came along and rescued me.
Yeah, just for the benefit of the audience, Dan, tell everyone about the interview process that we did with you, because I think it was quite a unique one, wasn't it?
Well, we had a couple of conversations on the phone,
Mm.
a little bit of banter and everything like that. And I was being a little bit offish and not wanting to come to Aarsleff's offices and being a little bit secret squirrel and everything like that. So we agreed to meet in a pub. So I got there early, as I always like to do, get there early and suss the place out and sat in the corner with a pint of lime and soda. And then these two fellas, Jody Parkin and Kevin Egg, they wandered in and looking around, and I'd spotted them straight away because I'd seen Kevin I've been searching him, I've been chasing him on the internet, and they just looked around bemused, totally unaware of me, looked straight through me, past me, and I think they probably worked out that I was just a local having a pint in the corner.
We actually thought that, Dan. We actually mistook you as the local guy in the afternoon having a beer and drinking the paper. And the rest is history, as they say.
It is a year, just over a year now. So yeah, things are going good, I believe.
And what an impact that year you've made in that year, Dan. And we are very proud to have you in our team here. No, we have a young team here in Aarsleff, and pop quiz for you, Dan. Can you, if I was to say to you, what is the average age of Aarsleff? What do you think your answer would be?
Average age of Aarsleff? I would.
Yeah. Everyone, that's on site and office and in the factory and central as well.
I would say the average has got to be mid-30s.
It's 38.
Okay, so not too far off the mark then. Obviously,
Yeah,
I'm skewing it slightly, and I'm an old boy.
Yes, and me. So we're both in that club. But the good thing is, Dan, the guys that we've got coming in and the girls coming in, they look up to what they see as leaders, and you definitely fit that bill. So no, thanks for that, Dan. What does Aarsleff mean to you?
Aarsleff, to me, I must confess, means family. It's a small organisation, but where individuals can make a difference and talk to all the important people. Every door is open. Sometimes, most of the time, doors are open for conversation.
Mine's currently cut. Mine's currently shut for this.
For this, and especially for this. Okay, it's a close knit group of people, like-minded, who want to deliver good quality geotechnical solutions for value, but listen to clients and understand their clients' needs, and that's where our key abilities shine through, is that we listen to clients and deliver what they want and understand what they want and translate that into reality at a value for engineering price. So, but it's all about the people. It is
family. It feels like family. It is a very close company, and sometimes to our detriment, the secrets don't stay secret for very long. But I think in the long run, it's actually a very
secrets. What secrets? I don't know, but I don't get to hear any gossip. There's no gossip in our office, surely.
So Dan, just to dive a little bit into us, where do you see the future of the company developing into? In what direction? General terms. I think we are building a great team and consolidating our position within the UK market. More than just historical Aarsleff known as PCAS piling. We're broadening that base. We're working closely with key clients now and looking for long-term relationships. So I think we can build on these long-term relationships with these key clients that we've got. Some very exciting projects coming up ahead of us. It's organic growth. You can plan and you can look ahead and you can have a 5-year and a 10-year plan. But we've got to be responsive as well to what the client needs. And we're going through some challenging times at the moment. But I must say,
that Aarsleff as a team, we've really coped well. Remote working, I thought would be a lot harder than it has been. But I think that's because strategically we were ahead of the curve with the likes of Teams and things like that, which has made working at home totally possible. In fact, quite useful in many ways. I've got a gut feeling that productivity's gone up. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, Dan. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the end of the conversation regarding coronavirus. But it has. But we'll step into that a little bit later on. But you're right. It definitely has. One thing that we always need to be, in my opinion, and these are the opinions of two professionals, not the opinion of the company outright, is we must always maintain that entrepreneurial spirit within ground engineering. When we lose that, we lose our way.
Very much so. I think as an industry, and I have had the opportunity to work with companies where cutting edge isn't British standard. It's developing new techniques, looking at opportunities, and it is pushing the industry forward. And innovation is key to success. And for a business, if you are at the cutting edge, there are more risks. However, if you manage those risks appropriately, using engineering knowledge and experience and thorough testing and quality assurance, then they can be overcome. There's a greater opportunity.
Absolutely right. Well, I'm kind of hoping between our professional team of 45 in Aarsleff, we've got a combined intelligence and experience of 1,710 years.
That's a good number.
I'm kind of hoping.
It
is a good number. Yeah,
1,000 years of experience between us all.
In the office, that is. If we expand that to the entire UK, we've got over 7,000 years experience. I'm kind of hoping. Moving on. Okay, so we talked a little bit about you, a bit about the culture, a bit about Aarsleff and some of the projects that we are looking at. In terms of the future, we've covered a little bit about that. But Dan, what is it exactly that you do on a daily basis?
I get involved in all sorts of conversations, and day-to-day basis, I sort of design and estimate and do a little bit of operations, and I get my all stuck into most problems and have an opinion. It's sort of a brief that has no remit. It's an interesting role. It's about teaching, exchanging knowledge, putting my experience in the ground and into application where it can make a difference. So one day I can be doing design calculations for designing some ground anchors. The next I can be checking cube results and trying to find out, looking at sorting out operation problems and things like that, looking at drilling bits and different techniques and things like that.
Well, I'm trying to avoid using the title floater, Dan. So we're going to we'll keep away from that one.
Yeah, did I use the word floater? No, that's something you brought into the conversation. I'd like to think I'm more of more cream in texture, right, and I float to the surface because I'm more cream-like than an erratic that won't flush.
No, very good. Yeah, it's a crucial role. It was a new role that was brought into us, and it's an absolutely crucial role. It's the fulcrum of what we need to be doing as a technical solution focused company. And if we always go back to the three-pronged strategic outlook of how this business runs, and that is low cost base and high capability. Having you in the system gives us that high capability. quick to respond to the market and to customers, and that's where you add value. You are very customer focused and you're quick to respond. So we're going to move into a few quick fire questions, and then at the end we're going to close the conversation with a little bit around coronavirus and the shock and the surprise to us all when it all started to get a little bit serious in March. But before we do that, quick fire round.
Quick fire round. Okay.
Fingers on the buzzers, Dan.
Yeah.
Best moment of your career so far?
I think Ground Engineering Award for Sanderson-Bog. Brilliant.
Favourite film?
Favourite film? Godfather, Part 1.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Ghostbusters. I was going to say Snap.
It could have been Vertigo. Raging Bull? I'm struggling a bit, but no, Godfather. Definitely Godfather.
Okay. Biggest influence or influencer on your career so far?
Stuart Littlejohn, Professor Stuart Littlejohn, an amazing man. A lot of credit to him. Innate ability to his memory, his knowledge, his depth of knowledge and understanding. It was just, I had the opportunity, he was my supervisor, PhD. He was the head of the civil engineering department at Bradford. Wonderful guy, personable, interesting, a workaholic, kind of used to work 18, 20 hours a day. He just lived for work. It's an amazing guy. Brilliant.
Good. Favorite album?
Struggle a little bit. Joshua Tree, U2, 1987.
Okay.
I think a bit of a landmark album for them. Absolutely brilliant.
Now this is going to stop you in your tracks. Best joke? Oh,
goodness me.
This could kill the conversation, by the way.
It could. I'm really struggling. I was chatting last night with the lads and talking about jokes and things like that. So I'm going to do this one because it's my default one. It's
toe curling at the ready, everybody.
I'm embarrassed for that now. Put me under pressure now. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No idea.
There you go. See.
Very good. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? No leg idea.
Still no
deer
idea.
Leg, no. Oh, yes. We'll just let that moment pass.
Yeah, was that good? Was that it? Oh, yes.
That was good, yes. I have a curveball question for you.
Goodness me.
And then we'll look towards wrapping up, Dan. At work, do you think you're more of a chameleon or an actor?
Chameleon or an actor? Oh. You definitely get what you see. I'm an actor.
Okay.
I'm not undercover.
There's no right or wrong answer.
No, I'm an actor.
Okay.
But I'm not chameleon. That's disguise. That's covert. No, definitely an actor.
Okay. My other questions are a little bit easier. What's your favourite form of transport? Monster truck or tank? Or if you could be Frankenstein or a vampire, which one would you be? But there's nothing behind those questions.
That's a hard one between tank and monster truck. I think monster truck. You can pull wheelies.
Yeah, you think monster truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look to wrap up, Dan. But I just want to touch on a real hot topic in the industry, which has impacted the industry, lives beyond the industry, the country, individuals, families, society, and that's coronavirus. And I think wind the clock back 4 or 5 months ago, as we were sat around our Christmas Christmas turkey. Coronavirus wasn't even a thing. Fast forward 2 months, it was a bit of a throw, and here we are now. A period of static movement in the UK. Everything's been slowed down or stopped, and it's impacted lives directly and indirectly as well. And I suppose where I'm going with it is Dan, how do you think you've coped with the situation, and how do you think the company's coped as well?
Absolutely right. It has been challenging, and it's for everyone. It's been uncharted territory. There isn't a rule book. There isn't an answer book. There isn't a magic button to press when there is a coronavirus pandemic, epidemic, whatever. So personally, it's been okay. I've had the opportunity to work from home, which is nice. It hasn't restricted me too much because the communication that we've got set up with our teams and the way we use WhatsApp and the way we use Teams and the way we communicate. And so working has been okay. Personally, and on a family level, it is it's added more stress to the family, being caged up. We've had to work hard and give each other a little bit more room at times and space and a little bit more understanding about how everyone's feeling. My wife Helen, she's been working throughout the coronavirus at school, looking after critical workers' children. She hasn't been educating; she's been childminding, I think, more so.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And that's been challenging because she's been exposing herself to a whole lot more potential for getting coronavirus. I know that's stressed Helen and my family. Looking after my parents are both down under lockdown. They're on the special list.
Shielded list.
The shielding list. So fortunately they live next door to us. So that's been okay. But as a family, we've been able to work and get together, and it's been good. As a company, I've been really impressed. But that's down to you and the senior management team. I think you have worked really hard to make it as easy as possible for us all, and there's a lot of thanks goes to that to you, because it's a very lonely position at the top of the company like that. You haven't got, ultimately you've got to make all the decisions. You've got a team around you, and you can listen to them and hear what they've got to say, and they're all valuable comments and things. But ultimately, you have given us the direction and steering, and I think you've done, personally, I think, a really, really great job at leading us through this troubled times. So I want to say thank you to you.
It's a really interesting thing. I was thinking about this, and now as we get ready to open up the office a little bit more, not that the office has been closed outright. We've now covered the office with signs, and this social distancing for me is the wrong use of terminology. We shouldn't be socially distant. In a time like this, we need to be socially together, but physically distant.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking around the office, I'm thinking this is actually subtly the wrong message for me. And I'm just gonna close up on that note, because I think the strength of the company is about the people, and we should never be socially distant. No. We should be socially together, and that's ultimately what's going to make us stronger and better and survive this. So now I've got to go back, and I'm going to rethink about getting all the posters reprinted at a massive cost, and instead of having it as social distant, physically distant.
Physically distant. No, I like that. That is absolutely true. We should be working together closer to overcome all the challenges. Interesting enough, as one of my first site meetings when we started to relax a little bit in terms of meetings. Now, there was 8 of us in the meeting. There wasn't room in the office on site to host that meeting. So we wandered outside, and we had a meeting in a circle under the trees in the shade, and it was very pleasant. And at first, we were in a big circle, But as everyone sort of relaxed, it was and chatted and went through the works
Mm.
program and all the information, the circle got slightly smaller and smaller and smaller. So we had to remind ourselves to keep that distance, that proximity from one another away. But we are social animals, and we do tend to draw together. We're a pack animal. So it was quite evident that we wanted to get closer, to communicate better and everything. But we had to keep on reminding ourselves to step apart. And that was quite interesting to watch. The other thing is Galliford Try, who was the client we were seeing, they were been watching their safety stats. And they said they've actually observed that their safety has improved throughout the coronavirus and they think it's down to people being much more aware of their bubble.
Aware.
Not only protecting it from coronavirus, but much more awareness of what's going on around them, because they're looking for people encroaching on their personal space, and therefore much more awareness of what's going on and accidents that could happen and things like that. So maybe that's something we can take from this is protect your bubble or something like that. You know, it isn't just about coronavirus. It's about safety, about what's going on, and keeping an eye on everybody else. Because throughout this, when you're in the street, you are keeping an eye on everyone else and making sure you're protecting your space. So it was an interesting point.
Yeah, no, it has been a very interesting time, both professionally and personally for a lot of people, but mainly challenging, I'd say. So, Dan, you're all right in what you say. We do keep statistics in the background. You know that productivity's been up. The way we work, in my opinion, has improved over the past few months. Now we just need to get our heads down and get building on site again. So I'm hoping our cadence, and you know I like to use the word cadence, starts to speed up soon. And on that note, I think we're going to draw this podcast episode 1 intro into the company, mastermind ground engineering expert Dr. Dan Adams conversation to a conclusion.
Well,
thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity, Kevin.
Thanks for listening to the Aarsleff podcast, Voices in Engineering. If you've enjoyed this episode, head over to our website, www.aarsleff.co.uk, to discover all about who we are and how we work with our valued clients. Never miss an update on a new episode when you subscribe to our podcast feed. If you found value in our conversations, we'd also appreciate a follow on LinkedIn.